Hello my dear students and friends. Today we have discussed about sequence and series and progressions, concept and parallel worksheets. So ikkada sequence and series మనం డిస్కస్ చేసే ముందు what about the sequence of numbers, sequence of terms, sequence of the values. సో ఈ సీక్వెన్స్ అనేది ఏంటండి, సీక్వెన్స్ ఎలా వచ్చింది అనేది చూస్తే కనుక we can look at the board here. We can see here, so sequence introduction, we are discussing about the sequence and series here. So introduction part, what is introduction here? In mathematics, sequence is much, here sequence is much the same way as it is in ordinary English when we say that a collection of objects listed in a sequence. Collection of objects listed in a sequence ante we can see here. For example, collection of objects means here x comma y comma z. Alage 1 comma 3 comma 5 is one type of sequence. So on. Alage 2 comma 4 comma 6. It is a one type of sequence. Atlane ikkada manaki, so ee one type of sequence can usually can mean that collection in that ordered in such that a way that it has identified first member. It has identified the first member, second member. First member has 1 here, second member has 3 here. You can see the example parallelly. And third member and so on. And third member 5 and so on. So now, for example, you can take the population of human beings or bacteria at different times form an here sequence. Here human beings you can take population you can take in a sequence. So now Indian population or whatever bacteria at the different times form a sequence. The amount of money here deposited in a bank, the amount of money deposited in the bank, and here you can take the number of years, over a number of years form a sequence. Over a number of years form a sequence. So now here the children sequence ante it is a order. It is an order here. In order మనం ఏమంటాం డిసిప్లిన్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మనం రెగ్యులర్గా ర్యాంకింగ్ చూస్తూ ఉంటాం. 1 1 1 2 2 2 3 3 3 అని ఒకటి ఉంటుంది. నెంబరింగ్ మనకి చెప్తారండి. 1 1 1 మాదే, 2 2 2 మాదే, 3 3 3 మావే, 4 4 4 మావే, 5 5 5 మావే. సో దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ సీక్వెన్స్. అంటే 1 2 3 4 5 అండ్ 1 2 3 4 5 సో ఆన్. అదర్వైజ్ యూ కెన్ టేక్ 2 4 6 8 సో ఆన్, 1 3 5 so on. It is called a sequence. So now then in the sequence you can take have applications of sequence here. We have in the type of progressions. First one is here arithmetic progression. Arithmetic progression దేని మీద బేస్ అవుతుందంటే arithmetic mean. Then you can go to that geometric progression based on that geometric mean. Next one is harmonic progression based on that harmonic mean. Now you can see that sequence of that values here. You can take here that type of sequences. Here over a number of years form a sequence. Depreciated the values of certain commodity occur in a sequence. The sequence have an important applications in a several spheres of human activities. In a sequences here the following specified patterns are called that here progressions. In previous class we have studied about what about we have studied here in arithmetic progression. In the previous class children we studied about that arithmetic progression. Arithmetic progression గురించి మనం నేర్చుకున్నాం. See here in that next one arithmetic progression based on that here it is in AP. In this chapter see here arithmetic progression means AP means arithmetic progression. In this chapter besides discussing more about the AP, that is what here before that AP, then you have to discuss about mean. arithmetic mean of some numbers, sequence of numbers you can take. Sequence of numbers arithmetic mean ante, for example, you can take 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 observations are there. What is arithmetic mean here? Arithmetic mean denoted by AM. Formula is nothing but what, children? Sum of observation by number of observation. Sum of observation by number of observation you can take, children, here. 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 divided by 5, children. Then whatever the answer it is, that is an arithmetic progression. That is an arithmetic progression, children. Now you can take here arithmetic mean and geometric mean relationship. The relationship between AM and CM. The special series in the forms of the sum on n terms of consecutive natural numbers, the sum of n terms of squares of natural numbers, and sum of n terms of the cubes of natural numbers will also be studied. Here. So now I will take the arithmetic mean. What about the arithmetic mean? Here sequence means here it is an order here. Order of the terms, numbers. Then you can take any expression and any value. So then it is called the any order you can take. If it is a difference between 2, it is a difference between 3, difference between the succeeding and preceding value. Succeeding and preceding value is 1, or succeeding preceding value difference is 2, succeeding and preceding value difference is 3. అంటే ముందు ఉన్న వాల్యూ వెనుకున్న వాల్యూ డిఫరెన్స్ 3 వచ్చేటట్టుగా ఒక సీక్వెన్స్ తీసుకోండి. 3 ఇక్కడ డిఫరెన్స్ వచ్చి 6, అలాగే 6 plus 3 9, 12. ఇది ఒక సీక్వెన్స్ ఆఫ్ నెంబర్. సో దే విల్ గెట్ వన్ బ్లాంక్ ఇన్ arithmetic type of questions. They will give, you can get the proper reason, then proper answer. It is a part of quantitative aptitude. As in aptitude here, it is a ability test, mental ability test here. So they will check our IQ levels in such a several type of competitive exams they will conduct in our colleges and schools. Then they have to check about, they have to check about our IQ levels. These type of questions, they will give that sequence of numbers and sequence of terms, children. So now I am going to explain that worksheet number 1. See that, children, here the worksheet number 1. Before that, the concept of that sequences here. So concept of sequence you can take that. Before that, we have to discuss about the sequences concept of that. Is previously we discussed about the which type of sequences. So what is the sequence? Finite sequence, infinite sequence, and series. So in that we have several problems and several examples. After that, same basic model sums we have to get in the worksheet number 1. So now we can go through the conceptual now. So now a systematic arrangement of numbers according to a given rule is called a sequence. According to a given rule is called a sequence. According to given rule, a systematic arrangement of numbers is called a sequence here. The numbers in a sequence are called, its terms. The number of, can take here, the numbers in a sequence is called term here. First term here 3, second term 5, third term 7, fourth term 9, etc. This is the sequence of numbers. We can take here in that sequence the first term as, then we refer to the first term of the sequence as here T1. First term of the sequence as T1, that T1 is equal to 3. And you can refer as second term as T2. Second term as T2, you can example, you can get 5. Then here, then third term of the sequence as T3. Similarly, you can get the nth term of the sequence. The nth term of the sequence, you can get the children here Tn. The nth term of the sequence you can get here children. So Tn here, Tn is the nth term. So now you can discuss about the Tn. So now the sequence is denoted by nth term is Tn here, which may also be referred as the general term of the sequence. The general term of the sequences, the general term of the AP arithmetic progression you can take Tn. Tn is the general term of arithmetic progression. So Tm is a general term. Tn is the general term or nth term of here. You can go through that arithmetic progression AP and geometric progression GP, and similarly harmonic progression on that is harmonic progression as HP. Then here, based on this different progressions, then Tn is varies. Tn differ between the progressions as arithmetic, geometric progression, and as well as the harmonic progression. So now we can go through the next one. A finite sequence, a sequence which consisting of, here you can see a sequence which consists of a finite number of terms. Finite number of terms is called a finite sequence. A sequence which consists of a finite number of terms is called a finite sequence. Finite sequence. Then here example 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, 17, 20, 23 is the finite sequences. Finite sequences of how many terms you can get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here. You can get that 8 terms. You can get here. Another term you have to write 26 here. You can get 26 is the 8th term. You have to get a finite sequence of the 8 terms. Infinite sequence means it which consists an infinite number of terms. Which consists an infinite number of terms is called an infinite sequence. Which consists an infinite number of terms is called an infinite sequence. So now we can go through the next one. See that another example. What about the infinite sequence? Finite number of sequence means here it has the finite numbers, finite terms. We are based on that differences. So how many number of terms you have? So infinite number of terms means they have many terms. So that indicates the infinite number of terms. So in a sequence here, if you can get 3 as the first term, second, third, fourth, so on. So means it is not a finite number, it is an infinite number. So that's why these sequences are called infinite sequences. So now we can go through that. Here one term, nth term of the progressions you have to find out. What about the nth term? Nth term of the sequence means, so if a sequence is given, then we can find the nth term. On the nth term of a sequence is given, we can find the terms of the sequence. So if the nth term is given, we have to find out the number of terms in the sequences. That is one type of question. Then sum of number of terms given, we have to find the nth term. That is another type of question.